Welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts playthrough. We've reached our, I would say, our first official destination of like traveling throughout the various worlds we'll be running into.
Yeah, this is like the this is when the game, I would say, starts.
Essentially.
For all intents and purposes.
The tutorial is officially over.
Is it intense or extense? It's intense, right? Intents and purposes?
Intents and purposes.
I said extents and purposes. My sister made fun of me.
I do like the how it opens up with them falling into basically the rabbit hole, as you know, in the actual Wonderland movie.
But they do that for every world, which I don't think I guess ever explained. You see it in when they go to a world later on. You see them float down.
Well, you say float, but when we get to the next world, Sora ain't floating.
That's true. He just.
But yeah, no, I like Wonderland for what it is.
Yeah, I'd say this was
but at the same time, it's also one of my least favorite worlds for other reasons that I'll be pointing out as we move along.
Yeah, it talks.
Yeah, that shot there with them like all perturbed by this talk. Yeah, well, like that shot of them being all perturbed about the doorknob there. That was one of the more promotional screenshots when this game was announced, or this version of the game anyway, with the HD upgrade.
Well, that's because it's one of the scenes where Sora's actually face is modeled.
It's not default face.
Yeah,
Sora's... Like, can you imagine if he turned back and it was default face?
Like right now?
Like
yeah.
Like when he looks back when the table came
out. Yeah, Sora's got the worst. Definitely something they fixed in 2.
Oh, Kyrie's definitely got the worst default face.
Well, but like Sora's got the worst because he doesn't have a fully detailed face outside of important cutscenes. But
and you see it more often than any other.
Yeah, because he's
the one you're playing as.
But that I believe it's bread in the movie. I don't actually have any recollection of the movie.
Yeah, it was some kind of pastry.
But
that made her shrink. But in this, it's just a drink, and it's kind of hard to tell. You actually have to. It's actually a lot easier to see when you're shrunk. But the 2 bottles actually tell you which is which. Like if you're shrunk down, it won't let you drink the shrinking potion. But
yeah, if you pay attention, one says sprout to tree, and then one says tree to sprout.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, it's neat. But like he said, you're not actually allowed to drink one or the other when you're in that mode. So
yeah,
it's just more for fun, I suppose. But what? Like I said, I don't remember the movie. Did they have this whole like in a box thing, or is it done entirely for Kingdom Hearts to just?
This trial here, I believe, is solely for the purposes of Kingdom Hearts, as far as I remember in the movie. Because I did actually watch it recently.
But like the box, like how they live in a box.
I see what you're saying. You know, yeah, no, same answer.
You don't. It's all just for this game.
It's all just for this game. I don't remember, like, yeah, I see what you, like, even that corner there, I actually never noticed, like, how box-like it was.
But that's
very strange.
They live in, it's a box with drawings, and I don't know, I've never seen it. I heard that's I may be wrong, but did they say that, I think that might be the original voice actress for Alice? She's like 400 years old.
Meddling! I love that.
Yeah, that's a concept you won't see brought up. Neither, like, for one, later in this game, and then in the series it's never even talked about again.
Which it kind of annoys me because I love that they were like goofy, muffs up, mispronounces stuff.
But that is honestly, when you think about logically, that does make sense that they aren't allowed to tell other people there's more worlds. Because it's kind of like.
For the purpose of the lore, there's these universal laws that people aren't supposed to know that there's more than just their world out there. The fact that Sora and the others can travel throughout completely breaks these barriers. And it's like this cosmic balance BS that they touch up on here and there. But, you know, it's not really until later games that it's Kingdom Hearts 1, for all intents and purposes, is completely introductory. Not only to the concept of to Sora and his friends, the Heartless, and the Disney, traveling through the Disney worlds, it also introduces several of Kingdom Hearts' story as a whole, and none of it, except for, of course, for the Kingdom Hearts 1 plot, none of it really begins or ends, per se. It's just kind of referenced.
Yeah, it's, there's a lot of things that don't really make sense in this game. This game, like, as far as feels go, like the tone and the atmosphere, this game feels very, like, by itself, I would say personally. I'd say there's something about this game that feels like it could just be its own thing. Like, it's kind, I don't want to say that...
Well, you say that, but my little spiel about it, which I think I'll talk more about, again, in Rechain, is kind of like that, but again, go on.
Well, no, I just mean, like, I feel like the sequels went in such a different direction that a lot of the plot points in this were dropped. Like, I'll point it out when we get there, but there's a lot of weird aspects of this game that just don't make sense. Like, like the Cheshire Cat obviously seems to know a lot about the Heartless, but why? Is he God? Does he know everything? He says he knows it. But does he know everything about his world, or does he know everything about the universe?
Well, see, the Cheshire was an enigma to begin with. You gotta remember these
I know,
things.
but that's is he supposed to be an enigma of the world or the enigma of the universe?
Well, again, that's another issue of writing in...
Yeah, you're right, exactly.
A non-original character into an original story, where they kind of have to keep his implied all-knowingness, like, to this, but at the same time, they needed to include the Cheshire in some way, because he was such an iconic character in the movie. Now, the gimmick for this world, well, this room in particular, there's a lot of crazy crap in this world, but you gotta feed these flowers, some kind of item. Some will want an ether, which ups your magic. Some will want a potion. Some will want a bigger potion. There's one that wants an elixir, and I'm like, no, screw you.
It gives you like $20.
Yeah.
Or 20 money.
Now, I only collect a couple of pieces of evidence. One, just to show off, like, what they are. But again, we're trying to prove Alice's innocence, that she's, not a heart cleaver or whatever.
A heart stealer?
Yeah.
She stole her, I don't know, yeah.
Attempting to steal the heart, yes. And he's like, wait a minute. Which,
yeah, this was
which for an opening world, like, if you follow the difficulty stars that Chip and Dale point out on the gummy map, it points out that you should go in the order of, like, difficulty stars. So, like, this is 1 star, so essentially this is the first world you should visit. And I thought that was interesting because it opens up with, like, stealing my heart. Like, at this point, you're not entirely sure what that means, but at the same time, she's the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah,
so like maybe it's her actual heart, it's a possession she has, like something royal or something like that. So I thought that was interesting that they kind of organized the worlds like that to kind of slowly introduce the concept of what the Heartless actually do to people.
Yeah, I always like that about this game is that well, a big complaint you'll hear a lot of people say about I'd say it was an issue, honestly, even in this game, somewhat by what I'm going to say next. But the fact that the Disney worlds are so irrelevant to the actual main plot, they just feel like filler. And I'd say this game does the best job of not doing that by, pretty much he was saying, new ideas are introduced in almost every world. Whether or not it's Sora developing as a character, or more, what he was saying, more ideas about how the heart functions in this universe.
Well, you say that, but for the purposes of the story as a whole, you're saying that this game does a better job of not having worlds be filler?
Like, to me personally, though, this one did the best job of making the worlds... Like, it's always felt like there was a reason as to why he was going to each world. The story progressed with the worlds. But again, I personally don't think... That's what I mean. The story progressed with the Disney world. It's not like he went to a Disney world and then the story moved on somewhere else.
I would agree with that. What Kingdom Hearts 2 in particular tended to do more of was throw in a lot of Kingdom Hearts' plot into the Disney worlds.
But sadly,
there wasn't a sense of progression. So that I can kind of understand.
Yeah, like it had its own story, and then Disney kind of like side quests, I suppose is how I'd word it. But like I said, that well, for obviously it's all my opinion, but this game still suffers from it too. Obviously, you're not gonna get exposition for the real world, for the real story in Disney worlds generally.
Now, what we're seeing here is a little bonus. You get this special upgrade. You can't miss this because you get it after beating the boss, but you can get it early like I did here by getting just that piece of evidence. There are 4 pieces in total. You only need that one in particular.
Yeah.
I did kind of like it though, because there were footprints,
stench, antennae, and then
yeah, and like solely based off of the soldier heartless, which were introduced in Traverse Town. You know, because the little antennae on their
heads.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know the shadows.
The shadows have the antennae.
That's interesting. Like what? Yeah, that's weird. Why is there a severed antennae at all? Don't they just evaporate?
Because this doesn't make any sense. And also for the point of this, I already said this. For the sake of this part of the game, he only actually had to collect 1.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: if you notice, the Cheshire Cat said, "If you collect all 4, I'll give you a prize." The game is pretty much assuming.
No. There's one in particular that's hard to find.
Yes, never mind. He says that. He says there's 4. 3 are easy to find, and 4th is the hardest.
If you find that 4th one. Now, the Queen of Hearts is a complete tool for having us go around collecting all that evidence. It's like, okay, now we're gonna play a game of ball in the cup. You find the ball in the cup, I let you all go. If I find one of your punk asses in the cup, I trap you. And that's what I did. So apparently Donald's tried to steal Queen of Hearts. You know, Donald, how could you?
I just thought that face, and he's like, "Oh no!" So this is pretty much your incentive to collect more evidence because you get a higher percentage chance
of having, like I said, an image of a soldier come up.
Yeah, and then she'll be like, "Uh-oh," and you still have to do this battle, but you have Donald and Goofy. But as I mentioned, well, for one, this fight's very easy, and for another thing, Donald and Goofy are so unhelpful that it just doesn't matter.
Well, you say that, but it's not even that bad of a penalty. I'll show it off later.
But do you free him? Plus you can free him.
Yeah, you can bust the cage open, which I'll do in a second. But basically, you gotta beat the crap out of that tower until it's completely destroyed, and then save Alice. Now, this fight has a lot of hidden elements, like the one I'll show off here. I actually didn't know about this until I saw it in the guide, but Slapshot
screwing me over.
It is, but if you knock her over, it doesn't affect the spade.
Black guys. It doesn't affect the black guys. Just the red ones.
Careful there.
No, yeah.
But the heart soldiers, you know, see her, you know, heart speckled bloomers, and they start giggling like little schoolgirls. And I just found it funny that you can actually do that.
Yeah, because it's like, honestly, that it would be helpful if this fight just wasn't so easy.
Yeah, there's really, again, it's one of those things that they threw in there, but
yeah, because
they thought there's too much effort to go and do it.
Yeah,
and don't you hate when you have all those treasure pickups and then the game just
freezes?
Stops?
Yeah. Wait, so how do you feel about the main pickups just being balls?
I don't really have a problem with it.
You know, it's weird. It's like that's how it always is. They're balls, but when I think of Kingdom Hearts, I never think of balls. Do you think of balls?
I think we should start saying spheres for the sake of keeping this.
Oh, they're balls. They call them balls. They call them HP balls.
Oh, well, that's true.
But I mean, like, I just think it's, I don't know. I guess my point is that for boss fights, you don't see those. So for like the actual hard parts of the game, they're irrelevant, I suppose. Well, plus, money's not important.
Well, you say that, but back when we were fighting guard armor, he dropped HP balls as we took out each piece. So there are some that do drop them, well, but there are certain requirements that need to be met in order to do that.
And then we got our newest Heartless, the large bodies.
This is where scan kind of comes in handy, but the animation alone does a good job of telling you that's not working when you're just hitting its fat. You know, you gotta hit it in the back to do any significant damage, which...
Or magic.
I guess, yeah, magic, if you hit his belly with magic, it kind of does piercing damage, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's what.
Well, just not... Yeah, just
That's
in the
what you
sense
call
that
it.
it does damage.
Yeah.
I came in like a wrecking ball, etc. I knew a lot of people were thinking that. You know who you are.
You missed your Chipon.
I did do it.
Yeah.
These guys are kind of cool. These elemental heartless, there are 4 of them in this game, and they're all named after types of music compositions.
Yes, those are,
I believe these...
red operas. No, red,
I believe these are the red nocturnes.
That is true. Yeah, that is one I always forget. I know. It's red nocturnes,
I believe...
yellow operas,
Yellow operas, blue rhapsody.
and then green requiems.
Green requiem, yes. Which is...
Red nocturne? Because I don't know the word nocturne. I know all the other words, but for some reason...
I believe it's nocturne.
It's nocturne. That's not a word I think you generally hear.
Now, I was kind of disappointed that these characters were left out. Kind of left out. They're just kind of in that little picture.
Whoa, I never noticed that.
Yeah, the text actually changes on the sign.
That's disturbing.
Now, the trick to this is that you get bonuses here. Don't worry about where Donald and Goofy are sitting, but pick a chair that doesn't look as comfy as, like, the cushy ones. You kind of have to show off, like... You know, how...
Politeness.
Politeness and,
Oh,
like, how
is that what it is?
Yeah, if you pick any of the fluffier-looking chairs, the table will disappear and Heartless will come out.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
I just memorized them.
Yeah, me, of course, first time around, I sat in the big, important chair.
And then you get...
And then I got attacked. But also their expressions changed in the picture. It's a weird little thing.
Yeah, you'll note, this game is definitely filled with the most knickknacks. Which, I mean, I guess in RPGs you would expect a game they would have a lot of these. Sadly, they drop off after this game. You do not see things like this appear in any other game in the series. For better or for worse, you really just do not see... You don't see giving items to flowers, you don't see...
Arguably, there may be some things we could be forgetting, but it's definitely not until the much later future. But I do agree with that. If there are any, they're very easy to miss.
Yeah, and it's just...
But then again, so are these.
Yeah, but it's like... I don't know. Oh, I want to say that, oh my god, that's what makes this game so great, but it's so much effort for generally nothing at the end of the day.
This was another thing where I was really proud of this take. I leveled up and got Berserk. Now, why would that be super cool important at this point in the game?
It's the only point when you have low HP actually is livable.
Later on in the game, you do learn Cure, which makes items completely irrelevant unless, you favor using magic against bosses, which is a very effective strategy, I've noticed. But I got Berserk, which basically ups your attack if you're low on HP. This is good. It's like, I don't really show it off too much, because, like, if I'm on low HP, I'm kind of a coward, kind of run around a bit more. But at the same time, it's really convenient because I don't have that, and which case in point, if I can't heal my health, I can take advantage of Berserk, because I never used it. I'm never going to use it because I'm never going to leave myself vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think I've ever... Do you know... Did you pay attention to what type of damage boost you got?
I don't have scans, so I couldn't tell.
Oh, yeah.
But again, if there are any opportunities where I actually do use Berserk, I don't know. I'm not sure if there actually were any, but I just the idea of getting it that early felt good because that for my style of play anyway, it's I thought that it would be kind of an important little boost to have, to make up for the fact that I can't heal.
Yeah, that's true. That's like not even in my mind, honestly, the Berserk ability. Well, there goes my infinite knowledge that I was bragging about. But I guess it goes, what he's saying is right. And this game kind of suffers from that, I don't know if it's an RPG thing, but I'm notice it mainly, where it's kind of like, once you get later on in the game, and especially in later difficulties, you're either at full health or at risk of dying.
Yeah, basically.
And that's what he was touching on, is that once you kind of get Cure, you pretty much just use Cure at not full health, and then... Well, And as you can see, if you notice the game kind of switching up between like that cinematic thing is because they don't give the Cheshire Cat a voice for some reason, and they just always give him text bubbles. I think that's annoying, but
I always like that little dance he did, though.
oh, the when he's pointing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so mean to you.
And then we have yet another one of my disliked color scheme changes. This is the Cotton Candy Trickmaster. Basically what you have to do is aim for the head. His legs and arms are not vulnerable. And the only way to really reach him is by... You can't jump on that thing for some reason. Which really sucks, but you have to make use of the chair and the table.
Doing?
I have no idea. I feel like, again, this is another thing I feel like they may have added to the final mix version of this boss. I don't remember him ever being able to, like, make a turntable, LOL, out of the table in this fight.
I feel like that was in the original, but I honestly can't 100% say for sure what it is.
It's like, it's a bunch of little things that people probably wouldn't think they would have noticed anyway, you know, but, like, it's strange.
I think if anything, they might have buffed up his AI to be smarter.
Oh my god, as if his AI needed a boost.
Hey, he's pretty.
My god.
This is kind of... I have to say, I'm not sure what happened, but when I was younger, I'd always think this was kind of a joke fight. It was always like the easiest thing in the world, but
okay.
He hits hard.
Yeah, he does, especially when you do what I did and use fire against him. Don't do that. If you get Blizzard early on, make use of it. There is a chance you can get a tech point off of them. But it's so flimsy, it's virtually impossible to accomplish. Like, to my memory, I've only been able to do it once. And I'm not even sure how. Maybe
actually, like, his staff.
I think that's what you're supposed to do. Blizzard has to hit the baton, but you can't target it.
No, yeah, I can speak from doing this, actually, fairly recently, is that he's right. He's stronger, obviously, when he has a flaming baton, and you can Blizzard it to get rid of it, but it's not easy to do.
Yeah.
Even with the shotgun nature of the Blizzard. He's right, if you can't lock onto it, it's almost hard to hit pretty much anything in this game.
In this fight, it was so painfully long. It just drags on so much, and...
Thunder would have helped.
It definitely would have. And, I would have edited it down, but, I was debating... here and there. The part was long enough as it was, but at the same time, it's hard to just, make crossfades and stuff like that, like, without it looking super abrupt.
Oh, do you die here?
I did not die. I definitely should have.
That was kind of crazy.
That scared the crap out of me when that happened, but then I noticed, oh wait, I'm alive.
Yeah, this is a really just strong attack.
Yeah, it's crazy hard to evade. That's why I was trying to get the tech points by hitting it, but after a while I'm just like, this is not working. And now I'm virtually defenseless, just saying.
Yeah, that's what makes this fight frustrating, is that...
I can still use the chair to kind of jump, but...
Yeah, and if you time your jump, you can actually... Sora can uppercut swing him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call it. His aerial swoop thingy.
Yeah.
Can hit him, but...
It's very flimsy,
yeah,
like
and you cannot combo from there, so...
No. But it's still, like, one more point of damage, I guess.
Yeah, and most importantly, you just want to bring him down. Which I believe happens after, like, 2 full combos, maybe?
Something like that. It seems like the ratio of how often he does it is upped. Like, either depending on the difficulty or maybe the version of the game. I don't know. I remember it being much more difficult. Yeah. I remember it being much more difficult to bring him down and have the HP balls drop.
For some reason, I was expecting to do a lot more backseat gaming with this, but, no, you play, I guess, exactly as I would play, so...
I do some things a little differently as I normally would play to just, again, kind of show off more of the game and, like, what you can and can't do. This fight, I can't really do much with. Just kind of have to beat him as fast as I can.
Oh my god, nice dodge.
Yeah.
What the...
Yeah, those things home in like nobody's business. There's a lot of crazy things that happened during my playthrough of this game.
A Goofy saved your life a little bit.
Right? Yeah, and it's fights like this where the party members, thank you for bringing that up, that are just, they're virtually useless.
Yeah, like their meat shield is gonna be their best.
I'm too lazy to bother to do it, but for a fight like this, give them some of your items to use later. Because you can, something I brought up before, in the configuration on your, not configuration, in your customize part of the menu, you can add shortcuts to certain spells to... You add spells to your shortcut to have easy access to them. What you can do to your party members is kind of edit how the AI works. So, like, one of the more common ones that I would bother to use is, as far as healing you, you can change the option to, like, only in emergency. So, like, if your health's in the red, that's when they would do it. If you leave it alone, otherwise, you take a hit and it's like, don't give up!
Yeah, they waste it. That's why, like, I would say really trust them with items when, like, you know that one extra heal they may give you will make the difference. But I don't know. There is customization, which is somewhat advanced, but personally, I don't think it really matters. Don't expect much from your party members here.
Yeah.
Is the point. But, oh, this is the scene I was talking about with the genius of Goofy.
Oh, yeah.
Watch what he says right here.
Okay.
He is so smart that he knows that they're not even real. Like he's about to say. Oh, never mind. I'm forgetting. I have to talk to the Cheshire Cat again. This is important, though, what he is talking about here.
Does Goofy actually say anything at this point?
He does. He says, we need to go to a save point to return to our ship. And I'm like, whoa, Goofy, you know way too much.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
See, that's how smart he is.
That's fantastic. I actually never noticed that. Yeah, I apologize if I'm skipping the text a bit too quickly. You know, if your people are really that, you know, into reading it during this playthrough, you can just... I don't think I skip them fast enough to where you can just pause and read, you know? But, again, I didn't find it that necessary for the purpose of this playthrough. Yeah,
they're not generally... Although I will admit, for the fact that there's, like, total cutscenes, a lot of important stuff happens in those bubble scenes. I will admit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange, because they are so boring.
You know what was kind of crazy when I recorded the footage for this game?
What?
Not skipping cutscenes.
Oh, yeah. Well, shouldn't you been used to that already?
Yeah, but still...
Yeah, this game, RPG, cutscene heavy, obviously. The very original vanilla release, no option to skip cutscene. Like I said, I bothered to play this game 20 times. I know almost every cutscene.
And actually, I tell a lie. I don't think you can even do that in this version anyway, unless you've lost a boss fight.
No, you can.
Really?
Yeah, they, in the original Final Mix they released... Like when they were
such a dumb thing to say. I'm sorry, but Square Enix, you're going a bit too far with this. But go on.
What do you mean it's Final Mix?
The original Final Mix.
Yes. Yeah, for the Final Mix for the first game, it did have a cutscene skip scene option, but like Valgo was saying, it only took effect when you fought a boss and failed, and then you pretty much had to rewatch it because of that. It lets you skip it.
Yeah, and that was such a breath of fresh air, especially for the really long cutscenes.
Yes, and it was very good because, like, yeah, a lot of fights had like a 20-minute, not 20, but like at least 5-minute long.
Felt like forever.
But
they were tough bosses too, but that they won't be until later.
Nope, still breathing easy here.
What do you think of the kind of atmospheric change as we kind of dive deeper into the map?
I thought it was cool, honestly. It's something I never noticed until my more recent playthroughs, but I think it's neat. Because I think this is one of those things where even though you're only in the gummy ship for like 22 minutes maybe, they're supposed to be in it for like at least a day.
Yeah.
It's virtually like space travel. So
essentially, yeah.
It kind of adds a... I like it. It's cool.
Well, that looks like about all the time we have here. You know, Donald and Sora are kind of having a falling out, so we're gonna leave them to that and see if things cool down in the next part. We'll see you then.
We'll see you.